good evening. On behalf of Assistant Principals Justin Gussie, Mark Kotler, team leaders Nancy Salvatore, Sally Nyan, and Nancy Barlow, welcome to our promotion ceremony honoring this impressive group of 8th graders. On this special occasion, we'll ask if you'll take a moment to just make sure that your phone or electronic device is on silent. That would be great. In the meantime, 8th graders, just look around and see if you find your people. Just look, because they've been calling you. Just find your people. Let them get it out the way. They're so proud of you. All right. Thank you. So they made it, they're here. And it's not that hot. It's hot, but it's not as hot as we thought it was gonna be. So, and now without further ado, we will begin the ceremony. We will begin the ceremony with one of our 2018 Cass Scholar leaders, Ella O'Connor. Please stand as Ella leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
The class of 2018 is comprised of many gifted writers, thinkers, athletes, artists, and musicians. This evening, 8th grade KP singers, led by our music director, Brian Pia, will be performing Beautiful City by Stephen Schwartz.
Thank you very much, KP Singers. You may be seated. Most of these students entered King Philip 3 years ago, nervous about middle school might hold. During those 3 years, each of them has been an integral part of the vibrant King Philip community, and each and every one of them has grown. Now they're ready to move on to a new and exciting high school experience. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate these special young people and their achievements. It's time to hear from the KP class of 2018. Our first speaker, representing the Amethyst team, please welcome Juliana Xavier.
First off, thank you, Mr. Gussie, for that kind introduction. Good afternoon, parents, caregivers, students, administration, and staff. I know this is a very special day for all in the room. For many, middle school is finally over. Summer vacation and freedom awaits us. For others like me, it's a bittersweet ending, but also a new and exciting beginning. Today is one of the great moments in our lives we will want to remember forever. To my classmates, know that your family, friends, and teachers are all very proud of you. Today would also be a good day to thank them for supporting you, because as much as this is our achievement, this is also the achievement of the people who care about us. We are going to high school, a new and exciting phase in our lives that will be different and offer many diverse experiences for everyone, but all in all, a great experience, I'm sure of it. With each day, we have matured, learned new things, and gotten a little more independent. We have grown up from the first time we stepped into KP Middle School. We got taller, smarter, more daring as we approached new challenges in our lives. When I walked into KP 3 years ago, I knew that I was frightened, but I also knew that along with many other students, they were frightened as well. Middle school was completely different from elementary school. Lockers, new faces, lots of teachers. It felt a bit intimidating, yet middle school fed us a good amount of independence with a sprinkle of "we are here if you need us, ready to support you." In the beginning, it was a lot to get adjusted to, and we had a lot of expectations. I know that we made our transition into middle school life without even noticing the little things, realizing how it happened so quickly. Before we knew it, we are here today getting ready for high school. We had a great time, maybe had some tough times too, but we all did it and we succeeded. Through making friends, losing some, meeting new people, and becoming better people, we got to understand the world a little better. KP was pretty great for me. From decorating lockers to student council, it was a new and exciting experience that I will never forget. Now I ask you to take the chance to dedicate yourself to making the next 4 years even better. Remember that you don't have to follow the crowd. Work hard, but don't forget to have fun. And finally, don't be in too big of a rush to hurry up, to grow up. These are some great times in your life. Don't rush past them. Thank you to all my classmates for making my experiences, our experiences, more memorable. To the staff, I know it will be hard to forget us with the unique personalities in our class. Thank you for your guidance and care, all the hours you put in to teach us. I know that you have worked extremely hard to help each and every one of us in a different way. To my parents, thank you for supporting me through every aspect of my life, dealing with my attitude, yelling, and drama, and always reminding me to be grateful, kind, and choosing to do what's right even if it's hard. The list could go on, but middle school will be something I will never forget. Finally, don't forget these important words from our childhood as we go forth into our next journey. There is always something you must remember. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Thank you.
Thank you, Juliana. Our second speaker is representing the Emerald team. Please welcome Finley Kirby.
My name is Finley Kirby, and I've spent the last 3 years, 36 months, 156 weeks, or 1,095 days of my life at this incredible school. First, I just like to point out that all the teachers are wearing sunglasses, and that's because the KP class of 2018 is such a bright group of kids that their eyes, and maybe their minds, are worn out after teaching us all year. Anyway, in all seriousness, today I want you to think about the things that we carry: emotions, memories, people. King Philip has been there for all of us through many ups and downs to help us carry those things. We've laughed together, cried together, stressed together, and celebrated together. We've all formed such strong friendships with people that we didn't know before sixth grade or never saw ourselves being friends with until even this year. If any one student in our class decided not to go to KP, their lives would have been so very different. They wouldn't have met the friends that they've made, shared the same anxiety and relief over tests and quizzes, and they would have never had the wonderful opportunity to be guided by all of the amazing and encouraging teachers at this school. KP has changed each and every one of its students, and I'm positive that any of my peers would back me up on that. In fact, just a few weeks ago, we each received a letter that we wrote to ourselves in sixth grade to be opened at the end of our KP career. While reading those letters, we were reminded of so many great memories, but also so many things that at the time seemed like the end of the world, only to disappear a week later. These experiences, both the good and bad, helped to shape who we are as students, friends, and young adults, without which we would have been completely different people and wouldn't have grown as much as we all have. Our class was actually the first class to write those letters to sixth graders, which means that we are the first ones to have received them. We are those kids who know what it's like to see how much a person changes in just 3 very short years. Only a few years after reading those letters, our current web leaders did the same lesson with their sixth graders that our sixth grade web leaders did with us. Knowing all the things that made these letters more enjoyable to read helped us to spread that joy to the sixth grade class. That's what KP's about, spreading joy. Now, parents, I'm sure most, if not all of you, have heard of a game called Fortnite. I'm sure you think that your kids waste too much time playing and not enough time outside or doing homework. However, your kids are actually forming bonds with their friends and working together as a squad to win the game. I'm sure anyone who plays knows who they like being in a squad with and who needs a little caring now and then. I think I speak for my whole class when I say, KP has shown us which squads we carry and which ones would carry us back. I know I'll be carrying all of the knowledge and growth I've received here up to Hall, and I hope all my classmates do so too, wherever they end up next year. Finally, I would just like to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you to all the KP parents and families for the support you gave your kids. Thank you to the entire KP staff, especially those teachers that made our classes a little extra special. And thank you to my classmates for giving me so many amazing friends, memories, and love that got us all through middle school. Let's enter high school with our heads held high, aiming for success. No matter who you're with, always remembering the important life lessons that we learned at King Philip Middle School, and always carrying each other along.
Thank you, Finley. Our final speaker, representing the Garnet team, please welcome Ms. Sophie Cudler.
Good evening, Ms. Wright, Mr. Gussie, Mr. Kotler, teachers, parents, and fellow students. I am Sophie Cudler from the Garnet team. King Philip has been unforgettable. I have learned my strengths and weaknesses, found a passion for learning, made irreplaceable friends, and met amazing teachers. Middle school has not been perfect. Nothing in life ever is. But everything over the past 3 years has prepared us for high school and the people we will become. In 6th grade, I learned to apply myself to everything I do and made new friends. 7th grade was a year to face substantially harder work. I was able to learn who I am as a student by being challenged more and having to work harder. In 8th grade, I learned the most because our teachers cut us no slack, much to my dismay. They said it will ease the transition to high school. We'll see about that. Now, I want to share with you my ABCs of King Philip. They are the foundation of our time at KP, just like the ABCs are the foundation of our language. A is for ambassador. Being a KP ambassador allowed me to help others who were scared to start middle school. B is for books I read in class that I thought would never end. C is for character counts. We have learned to be responsible, respectful, and good citizens. D is for the drama at KP, and I don't mean the production of Schoolhouse Rock. E is for the educators who have helped me become the best I can be. I've grown the most this year in science with Mr. Felke and in language arts with Ms. Kent. F is for friends with whom I plan to make memories for the rest of my life. G is for the grades that some stressed over and others ignored. You know who you are. H is for the homework that doesn't seem so daunting anymore. Will it get much worse at Hall? I is for independence. We are ready to leave the comfort of our KP teams to travel by ourselves through the halls of high school. J is for June of 2018, the month we thought would never arrive. K is for my King Philip family that I will miss most of all. L is for my locker where I had too many conversations just before the bell rang. M is for morning advisory. Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. I think graduating makes this a pretty great day. N is for nap time. We had it in preschool and I wish we could have added it at KP. O is for one because at KP we strive to be the one. P is for Power School. Is it too early to start checking for my schedule at Hall? Q is for Quest, where I've explored my interests to help me discover my passions. R is for the responsibility we have developed over 3 years of analyzing, organizing, and prioritizing. S is for SBAC. We always dreaded it, but then completed it and realized it wasn't so bad. T is for teams at KP and the memories of my teachers and classmates on Diamond, Opal, and Garnet. U is for unfinished homework. Is it too late to hand it in now? V is for vacation. It's not just the teachers to look forward to it. W is for walk on the right. If you only learned one thing at KP, that would be it. X is for xenon on the periodic table, which is a stable, unreactive noble gas. Thanks, Mr. Felke. Y is for the yearbook that I always will have to remember everyone by. Z is for zenith. Zenith is the top, and I think we are graduating from KP at the top of our game. Now that we've mastered the ABCs of KP, it's time to learn the language of Hall. I hope everyone has a great summer, and I hope to see many of you at Hall in August.
Thank you, Sophie. Can we please give all 3 students a final round of applause? So over the past 3 years, you have heard us talk about respect, responsibility, and good citizenship. And I have said that these values are a part of what we want to exhibit as both students and adults. Part of taking responsibility means acknowledging when we make a mistake. I realized, thanks to some feedback, that 26 students were not included in the qualification process for our Math and World Language Awards because they were taking an advanced course in high school. I don't want these students to think their efforts are not acknowledged at KP. So, to right this wrong, to accept responsibility, along with their certificate, they will also receive a letter from me recognizing their perseverance to excel amidst the extra requirements, up early, finishing at the same time, and the opportunities they may have missed because of this advanced course. Now please welcome Mr. Justin Gussie, who will spend the time to recognize our 8th graders.
As Principal Wright mentioned, it's now time to recognize our 8th graders. Recognizing students on the Amethyst team is Mr. Williard DeWitt. Mr. DeWitt, if you'll join us at the podium to get us underway, starting with the Amethyst team. As we prepare to present our students, I'd like to review with the audience what we discussed with students at today's rehearsal. We're recognizing students from one team at a time, and our expectation is that everyone will hold their applause until we come to the end of the list of students for the team, at which time we'll collectively acknowledge the whole team of students. We do this to honor each student and show respect for each student. So in advance, we appreciate your cooperation.
On behalf of the Unified Arts teachers, Mr. Masters, Mr. Picard, Mrs. Rossio, Mrs. Rieger, Mrs. Zara, the school counselors, Mrs. Carlson, Mrs. Gengris, Mrs. Wilson, Ms. Tamayo, ESOL teacher, Ms. Kozinski, Quest teachers, Mrs. O'Reilly, Mrs. Swenson, reading teachers, Mrs. Friedman, Mrs. Sansucci, Learning Center teacher, Mrs. Lacoussiere, as well as our 8th grade French teacher, Mrs. Gallagher, our math intervention teacher, Ms. Martucci, the academic teachers on the Amethyst team, Ms. Chenard, Mrs. Liebel, Mrs. Reynolds, Ms. Rucci, Mrs. Salvatore, Mrs. Wojciechowski, and me, it gives me great pleasure to recognize the 2018 Amethyst Team students. They are Alessandra Anderson, Jonathan Anderson, Sarah Antoine, Samantha Asia, Jason Bach, Tyler Bach, Saladin Bakri, Grace Balmer, Julia Bond, Israel Ben Naim, Daquan Boomer, Allison Booth, Adam Bull, Ann Campbell, Ashley Chen, Alexander Chiafone, Kaylin Claudio, Aiden Connor, Sean Cook, Dominic Delaferra, Nicole Delorier, David Doe, Callie Dominguez, Charles Dowd, Samuel Emerson, Amaya Estremera, Kyle Feliciano, Maya Ferreira, Zaid Folner, Scott Gilden, Marcella Gilligan Ramsey, Alex Gopal, Yannick Gordon, Isabella Gwadowski, Tessa Hachi, Molly Hall, Nora Hanlon, Ethan Harris, Maxwell Harrison, Beatrice Hoffman, Charles Wang, Sydney Hudson, Peyton Jopek, Mukunda Joshi, Harkaman Kaur, Jasleen Kaur, Caroline Kavanaugh, Julia Kabelski, Samuel Kuja, Olivia Labor, Aaron Lamb, Connor Lyons, Ryan Ma, Jared Maidman, Mackenzie Mandyke, Stephanie Markey, Jack Marzi. Hercuri Jocelyn Mena Garces. Samantha Marrow. Nolan Moore. Grace Moreau. David Moskal. Genevieve Nelson. Claire O'Brien. Thomas Panarella. Zoe Pappas. Corrine Parahomenko. Olivia Pillow. Abigail Posner. Connor Ravenberg. Cole Raycraft. Hayden Raycraft. Jamie Rendon. Colin Richard. Gabriel Rivera. Elijah Rodriguez. Gabriel Rooney. Kennedy Roth. Romina Safa Kamal. Diego Sales Alves. Evan Santos. Matthew Scobo. Andrew Shapiro. Jackson Shaughnessy. Helena Schenk. Lauren Shalansky. Thatcher Shemansky. William Stevens. Abigail Thaxton. Caroline Thaxton. Olivia Thaxton. Michelle Thomas. Ethan Tiffany. Jenna Varengia. Julius Wagner. Charles Wang. Henry Wang. Jenna Williams. Elise Willis Card. Juliana Xavier. Sean Zeman. Edward Zhao. Amy Zhang. Andy Zhang. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2017-2018 Amethyst team, congratulations and best wishes.
Thank you, Mr. DeWitt. Our next team is the Emerald team. Recognizing students on the Emerald team is Ms. Jessica Caralasia. Again, Please hold your applause until all the students have been recognized.
On behalf of the Emerald Team teachers, Ms. Heverin, Ms. Karalasia, Ms. Nyan, Ms. Regan, and Ms. Ranowski, it gives me great pleasure to recognize the 2018 Emerald Team students. Ixael Albino. Zinia Emroliwala. Samuel Arano. Colin Allwater. Alexander Bolio. Jackson Bolter. Sebastian Brand. Tyler Bristow. Benjamin Brockway. Jennifer Brown. Joshua Burr. Camden Carpenter. Virginia Carroll. Jemiah Cartagena. Amelia Karuk. Amir Sekunjanin. Grace Chow. Sophia Saplinski. Scarlett Sistuli. Michael Coleman. Cameron Costa. Jade Falco. Romy Cowan. Sherelle Daniel. Paige Dempsey Weiner. Joseph Dooley. Ansuya Dulal. Elise Edwards. Matthew Farber. Thomas Farnham. L. Fingold. Kayla Flores. Hannah Flukiger. Ariana Forbes. Courtney Frombach. Hannah Gainey. Matthew Gainey. Ingrid Gibson. Megan Goldfarb. Maurice Gordon. Nora Grady. Jean Guanilo. Jake Hers. Jacob Hodkinson. Kirsten Holly. Nora Holmes. Ryan Jang. Miles Johnson. Samita Kashyap. Kanwalpreet Kaur. Emma Keller. Finley Kirby. Willem Collin. Danielle Kurzman. Margot Levine. Jake Ludgen. Quinn Martin. Brooke Martindale. Riley McGowan. Finn McHugh. Jonah Miettinen. Lila Mordecai. Brooke Nemero. Alexander Nguia. Ella O'Connor. Oliver Cyrus Parham. Natalie Perez. Leo Pereira. Kristen Riley Palakis. Julia Prosick. Xavier Ramos. Jenna Rigo. James Renda. Lily Riker. Lauren Riley. Jonathan Robinson. Christian Rosado. Simon Rosenberg. Cindy Schumi. Amelia Searles. Nathaniel Simmons. Cole Smith. Lauren Smith. Rebecca Solomon. Landon Travers. Bridget Chulakangis. Mauricio Vega Estares. Alyssa Wong. Jessica Warshauer. Kayla Waterman. Hazel Weathers. Grace Winokur. Avery Woods Weber. Jeffrey Wu. Zena Zhao. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2017-2018 Emerald Team, congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Carolasia. Our next team and final team is the Garnet team. Recognizing students from the Garnet team is Ms. Cynthia Kent. Again, please hold your applause until all of the students of the team have been recognized.
On behalf of the Garnet team teachers, Ms. Barlow, Ms. Kent, Ms. Lewis, Mrs. Windehack, Mr. Felke, and Mrs. Bianca, it gives me great pleasure to recognize the 2018 Garnet team students. They are Natalia Altamari, Isabel Anise, Aiden Obi, Karis Baker, Christina Burrill, Wade Bassick, Lauren Bell, Alexander Belsham, Andrew Belsham, Pranab Binoj, Nevaeh Bishop, Benjamin Bomser, Nayeli Bravo, Aaliyah Brown, Isabel Brown, August Brutz, Victoria Buds, Victoria Chernetskaya, Amreen Chaudhry, Emma Clifford, Noah Klimar Mizrahi, Veronica Copeland, Sophia Cornicello, Vanessa Cruz, Ada Kuna, James Davis, Annabelle Dees, Adrian Demerville, Tegan Droney, Grace Druckenmiller, Luke Dunlap, Bruce Dunlap, Brian Fail, Jimmy Figueroa, Samuel Foxman, Kimberly Garcia Thomas, David Gardner, Abigail Garvey, William Gomer, Matthew Gelinas, Kylie Gertner, Lana Gamo, John Gonzalez Molina, Elliot Greenblatt, Andrew Hansen, Kaylee Hebert, Ashley Ho. Liam Hockman. Elizabeth Haran. William Hosey. Jonathan Jacobson. Rachel Jacobson. Clayton Kanega. Emma Kingwell. Grace Keeney. Dovidas Casavages. Sophie Cudler. Alton Lee III. Justin Leopold. Aiden Lozier. Jacob Long. Brendan Margolis. Sean McDaniel. Alvin Mello. Annika Morse. Brian Murphy. Logan Murphy. Devin Nastry. Timothy Nuia. Chisholm Ono. Olivia Audie. Nicholas Peterson, sorry. Carly Poulin. Allison Regan. Grace Rushlow. Yancy Rodriguez. Tobias Rufo. Stephanie Ruiz. Veronica Safran. Elijah Salamons. Justin Santos. Elijah Shank. Julia Silman. Samuel Smith. Kai Soyseth. Fiona Sortman. Stephen Stein. Grace Sullivan. Kayla Tang. Stephen Toronto. Emil Thomas. James Tom. Nick Ubdabella Udell. Pablo Valencia. Cody Vanasuk. Joshua Waitsman. Gunnar Whalen. Monica Wheeler. And Tina Shu. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2017-18 Garnet team, congratulations and best wishes.
Thank you, Mrs. Kent. So tonight we celebrate the impending conclusion of your middle school experience, even though it's not official until Wednesday. This is significant because of all the things your peers highlighted in their speeches earlier. As your lead learner and your principal, I have the honor and privilege to share some final thoughts tonight as you commemorate the end of one stage and the start of another. Whether you arrived at KP in grade 6 or joined in grade 7 or even this year, I have had the honor of watching you grow and mature physically, emotionally, and academically. I know these 3 years have not been a breeze. Some of you may not look fondly on your time at KP. Some of you will note this period in your life was where you experienced hardship or tragedy. For you, I hope that you understood what community not only looks like, but most importantly, what it feels like to be embraced, to be loved, and well cared for during your bleakest moments. Some of you will look back on this period as the one when you discovered yourself, and that it set a course for your future, while others will see this as just the beginning of that discovery that you will continue next year and beyond. Wherever you fall, please know this, your time at KP mattered. As you enter this next stage, remember, be the one who demonstrates respect, even when you have differing opinions or values. Be the one to demonstrate responsibility, not only in your academic pursuits, but also in your choices. While we cannot always choose what happens to us or how people respond to us, we can choose our response. Be the one to be a good citizen. Get engaged in your next school community. Take care of your family and your friends. Stand up against injustice and for those who need a champion, even if it means you might stand alone. Finally, as I say every year, don't forget about KP. Come back and give back. Lead the learning for our students by sharing your lessons, your passions, your knowledge, and your skills. We get better when we learn together. This night would not have been possible without the KP families who have supported your children during their time at KP. I want to thank each and every one of you for partnering with us during these middle school years, sharing what was going well and telling us what we could do better. Thank all of those who serve behind the scenes but who leave imprints to make this night and the 8th grade celebration such a success. Mrs. Turcasio, our lead secretary, who will retire at the end of the summer after 22 and a half years of service. Mrs. Cammie Rogers, our administrative assistant, Mrs. Deanna Johnson, Mrs. Aronson, Mr. Justin Gussie, the 8th grade administrator. Give it up for him, please. I appreciate Mr. Pia, our audio support, but our pianist for today. Love that. We appreciate the KP Hall custodial staff, the KP security staff, and of course, I cannot forget the KP 8th grade teachers and KP staff. And I just want to highlight that as we spend a note that as we prepare to say goodbye to this school year, we will also be saying goodbye to Ms. Denise DeMello, our librarian, who will retire after 12 years at King Philip. Where is she? I thought I saw her. And with that, we've come to the most important part. Congratulations to the 8th grade class of 2018. This is only the beginning of your accomplishments. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great evening. Okay, don't smell me.